listening to Trigger Warnings, Challenging Talk Radio. Challenging Talk Radio. I'm Chris Smith, here in the office.
And I'm not.
You're not.
Hello.
And you're in the
I'm not.
heart of American carnage. John Ross is
Heart
on
of
the
American-
line.
What are we playing for this week?
What are we playing for this week? I've got a prize for us. It is, well, just so you know, Trigger Warnings, Challenging Talk Radio. Program number 30. We've been at this a while. John's got 10 questions for me. I've got 10 questions for him. These are based on the week's news or something like it.
News, yes.
The fake news, the alt news, and all the facts.
The alt news.
So, what are we playing for? We're playing for 1 can of shark repellent.
I love it.
As used in the 1966 Adam West Batman film, handy for anyone.
How is that validated? How is it verified that it was used in the Batman film and by Adam West? Do you have?
I've got the certificate of authenticity right here. Absolutely. And this is very handy because everybody on Cape Cod needs it. Great whites are taking over the Cape long before the Obamas will invade Martha's Vineyard later this summer. John, why don't you throw me a question to begin?
You know, we are so on top of things that I have a warm-up question for you that is from the news of the last 10 minutes. And it's from the Aspen Ideas Festival. Isn't that incredible?
It is incredible. Now, it will be more incredible if I know it.
It's an Aspen Ideas Festival question.
What year did you attend Aspen Ideas?
I was there at the first Aspen Ideas Conference in 1879. Grover Cleveland and I were on a panel together. It was really interesting.
That's very nice. Oh, okay.
We talked about. All right, so here's a quote from a speaker at today's Aspen Ideas Festival. The president is a citizen as well, and he says what he wants to say. One of the things that's important is that you have to take a look at his actions. And to a certain segment of Americans, the country was too dependent on government. It was going in a direction they disagreed with, and so he was able to touch a chord with a great number of people who felt that somehow this country needed to have their voices heard. Which Trump administration official said this today at the Aspen Ideas Festival in response to a question about whether the panelists agreed with the president's tweet takedown of Mika Brzezinski? Is this a topical question? Was it Reince Priebus, Kellyanne Conway, Elaine Chao McConnell, Tom Price, or Wilbur Ross?
Elaine Chao, Wilbur, what?
Reince Priebus, Kellyanne Conway, Elaine Chao, Tom Price, or Wilbur Ross?
Margaret, the McConnell there, yes.
I think Elaine Chao McConnell.
Elaine Chao McConnell. I almost said Margaret Chao McConnell.
I thought you said Martha Chase Smith, but yes, it is Elaine Chao. An excellent answer to a warm-up question. I got my warm-up question right earlier today, by the way.
Yes, this is the second attempt at this evening's program. Thank you to Fairpoint Communications for all of the great customer service and lo-fi DSL.
I think we just lost a sponsor.
Well, we did lose a sponsor. They lost me as a sponsor, but also they got sold like 2 weeks ago. So who would expect anything from that? Thank you. Very proud to have gotten the warm-up question that came in the last 10 minutes.
You know, there are many scandals in the state of Vermont these days. This is just one of many.
I hope that you're going to focus on those. Now, who's going to go first now that I've won?
Well, you are the defending champion, so it is up to you to decide.
Well, then, on with the show. The UK Sun. You love the Sun.
Oh, yes, especially page 3.
They ran an article last week about one Mel Bernstein, who claims to be, quote, the most armed man in America. In addition to over 3,000 weapons, Mel has a motorcycle equipped with a flamethrower, his own firing range, dozens of military vehicles, and much more. Mel ran a motorcycle repair business on Long Island. before relocating with his wife Terry Flannel in 1982, and they've lived in the same place since. Where does...
The same place since, yeah, okay.
Yes, where does the, quote, most armed man in America call home? Is it A, Lipscomb County, Texas, B, Daniels County, Montana, C, El Paso County, Colorado, or D, Caledonia County, Vermont?
I don't know about Caledonia County. They all seem to have a lot of open space. I would say El Paso County, Colorado.
Is that your final answer?
It has to be, because it's wrong.
No, it's correct. Why did you pick El Paso County, Colorado?
It just sounded good. It just sounded good.
Wow,
Well,
nice one. Oh, boy.
I better keep score, because I'm on a 1 week losing streak.
Okay, bring it.
I'm bringing it on. So it's one. That would be 1-0. Okay, bottom of the first. Politico, your favorite newspaper, ran a recent special report that looked at women who serve in elective office in parliaments and lower houses of government around the world. Among other fascinating tidbits, the report found that while the United States' share of women federally elected officials in Congress has stayed about the same over the past 15 years, roughly 19%, our ranking among the 193 nations surveyed has plummeted from 52nd in terms of the percentage of female office holders to 101st. The country that has the largest proportion of female legislators is Rwanda with 61%. In 100th place, right ahead of the U.S., is Kenya. Which of these countries is not ranked above the United States? In other words, in the top 100 of nations in terms of proportion of female legislators? Is it Greece, Bangladesh, Saudi Arabia, Uruguay, or Indonesia? Only one of these countries has a smaller proportion of women in its lower house than we do.
Greece, Bangladesh, Saudi Arabia, and...
Uruguay and Indonesia.
Uruguay and Indonesia. All right, well, U.S. is 101st, having been 52nd. Saudi Arabia appears to be the obvious answer, so I really doubt you would throw me that large of a metaphorical bone. I got to cross that one off. Greece, I don't know if anybody's in charge anymore, so I'm just going to take that out. Bangladesh, Uruguay, or Indonesia. I don't have any... I'm going to go with Indonesia.
That's a reasonable guess. It is a very large Muslim state and a Muslim democracy. No, the least obvious one you ruled out. Indonesia is 99th, by the way. Saudi Arabia is 98th. Uruguay is 94th, but Greece is 107th. The answer is Greece.
Wow. All right. Well, my deductive reasoning was a little too transparent there, and a little too rash, I would imagine. All right, the score is 1-0. John?
I have the lead. May I quit now?
Pick up the lead here. Take it and run with it. You're going to love this.
I can't wait.
According to a CBS radio affiliate, a TSA agent working at Boston's Logan International Airport Terminal C found a lobster alive in someone's checked bag last week. Again, the lobster was alive, and it weighed over 20 pounds. What did the TSA agent do next? According to a CBS radio affiliate. Was it A, confiscate the lobster and detain the owner of the checked bag for questioning? B, confiscate the lobster, but allow the owner of the checked bag to continue on their flight? C, took a picture with the lobster and posted it on Twitter? Or D, nothing. An investigation into the security lapse is pending as the lobster escaped its baggage during the flight and caused havoc inside a storage compartment of the plane.
Well, it's a checked bag.
Yes, it's a checked bag, it's a live lobster, and it's a government official. What did they do?
It's not going to be alive in a checked bag unless it was in water. Well, I guess they do live out of water. I think the TSA agent took a picture and posted it on Twitter.
Oh, man. This is the kinder, gentler week for me, because you got it. You definitely got it. You're right. And it is legal. It is legal to carry a lobster in your bags.
Unless armed. If it's an armed lobster, you can't.
So you win a bonus question. What airline is apparently New England's premier choice for overgrown crustaceans? Is it A, JetBlue, B, American, C, Delta, or D, United?
I'm going to say JetBlue.
It is JetBlue, and that's because lobsters are blue when they're in the water, and then they're red when they're not.
And it was a jet.
All right. Well, 2-0. 2-0. And that was great, but it didn't get me anywhere. So let's do it.
Well, lobsters lose. Oh, sorry. Okay. Question 2, bottom of the second. If perception is reality, higher ed has its own problem. According to the Chronicle of Higher Education...
Wait a minute. Don't throw me that and expect me to recover. Say that first sentence really slowly so we can all hear it.
If perception is reality, higher ed has its own problem. According to the Chronicle of Higher Education, one major state university is reeling due to image and public relations issues to some degree associated with its response to concerns involving athletics. These problems, the report continues, have contributed to the loss of a third of its enrollment over the last several years alongside image and financial problems. Which major state university is facing this crisis? University of California at Berkeley, University of Missouri at Columbia, Penn State University, University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, Florida State University.
Stop. You're going too fast. UCal at Berkeley, University of what?
Missouri.
Missouri where?
Columbia.
Thank you.
They're the main campus. Penn State, the main campus. University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, or Florida State.
I love a good higher ed question. Let's see here.
You did a good higher ed.
All right. Athletics is the major problem? No. Athletics, in addition to image, in addition to financial problems, is seen.
No. The image and public relations issues are to some degree associated with how the school handled a controversy surrounding athletics.
Oh, thank you for throwing me the bone. Is it not Penn State? Let's see here. I mean, I was gravitating towards Florida State. University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. I've been there, so therefore...
All of that, let me just clarify. Every one of these schools has had
a scandal.
Major crisis in the last couple of years around some issue involving how it handled an athletics issue.
Okay.
I could delineate these if you like. I don't think that will help you answer the question, but it will show that it is not a fake news question.
All right, so athletics, but image. Because really, I know. Let me just talk out loud for a second. Image of higher education institutions is critical to their survival, critical to their enrollment, fall 2017, 18, etc. So people are not enrolling, and that creates a financial problem, and they're not enrolling because of the image. The image was tarnished by the scandal. Now, It's a state university, which
Yes,
means
it is a
it's
state
trying to
university.
serve. I gotta go on the premise the state university is trying to serve the population of that state. Which of these is least connected to its population? There's my deductive reasoning. That does reason out Penn State. Now this is just my general higher ed impression as a non-subscriber to the Chronicle. University of Missouri, not so much. UCal Berkeley, I don't buy it. It's Florida State, is it? It's Florida State.
Florida State, of course, had a Heisman Trophy winner a couple of years ago, Jemias Winston, who was accused of rape, and the university police there want to botch the case. He was discharged and then became a top-ranked draft pick in the NFL. Unfortunately, that is not the answer. The answer is University of Missouri, which, as you remember, had the African-American football players were planning to boycott the team out of remarks, what they considered inconsiderate remarks uttered by the president, which led to a whole stink. But the answer is University of Missouri. Excellent deductive reasoning. Unfortunately, the answer is incorrect. Okay, a bonus question for you.
Ooh, thank you.
What did Florida State University used to be called? Before it was Florida State University, it operated as a state school under another name.
Do I get choices?
No. Come up with something.
Then no, I have no idea.
No.
Swamp U.
Swamp U is a great guess. No, the answer is Florida University for Women. It used to be the women's school, the school in Gainesville. It used to be the men's school, which leads and led people at Florida football games. I did go to University of Florida to have a chair that went FSU, where the women are women and the men are too. Okay, let's go on to
You made up that bonus question on the fly. Listen,
I made it up on the fly, but the chant, the anti-FSU chant, is true.
Yeah, I understand. Let's stay in Missouri since you went there. According to Reuters,
yes, my favorite news bureau,
St. Louis, Missouri, was scheduled to remove a statue from its downtown Forest Park this week after an agreement was reached between the Missouri Civil War Museum and representatives from the United Daughters of the Confederacy Missouri Division and the St. Louis Confederate Monument Association.
This is a great question, and I don't even know what the choices are. Yes.
The statue, which was placed on the park's Confederate Drive in 1914 by the Ladies Confederate Monument Association, will be removed and stored until a location outside the city limits can be found for its permanent display. What does this statue depict? Is it A, an unnamed soldier carrying a Confederate flag? B, an angel said to represent the spirit of the Confederacy? C, General James Longstreet? Or D, Missouri governor and Southern sympathizer Claiborne Fox Jackson?
That's a really good question. I have to hand it to you. And you know that I really love these Confederate monument questions because I really deductively reason them to death.
I know.
I don't believe it's an angel. I think it's Missouri Governor Foghorn Leghorn. That's what I think.
Wait, General James Longstreet or Missouri Governor? No,
Missouri Governor Foghorn Leghorn.
Claiborne Fox Jackson. No, it is an angel said to represent the spirit of the Confederacy. Ooh. The score remains 2-0. Right?
All right, let's bottom of the third. Let's stick with higher ed. If you work on a college campus, you probably have been oriented to the requirement that you must report any violations, such as an alleged sexual assault.
Is this a Title IX question? Is this a Betsy DeVos Title IX speculative?
It is a Title IX question. But the reporting issue, one that falls squarely under the federal Title IX statute, also sometimes keeps students who are victims of these assaults from confiding in faculty and staff. In response to this phenomenon, one major university has, sorry, well, I have to eliminate one of my, all right, that's fine. One major university has officially changed its policy so that faculty and staff no longer have to report such cases. Which cornerstone of progressive academia has initiated this change? University of Oregon, University of Washington, University of Colorado Boulder, San Francisco State University, Miami University of Ohio. Faculty and staff no longer are required to report such violations like an alleged sexual assault when students confide in them.
University of Oregon, University of Washington, University of Colorado at Boulder.
Right, San Francisco State and Miami University of Ohio.
The violation of federal Title IX. I mean, is it not? Before I make a guess, I'm guessing which of these schools is willing to risk their federal funding to violate Title IX statute. Is that what I'm being asked here?
Well, I didn't say that. The article itself did not. The article said that this was a long, painstaking process, and that on balance, they figured that because students knew that faculty they told about this had to report it to authorities, that some of them supposedly or allegedly were refraining from telling them, so they thought it was the right thing to do to make it optional for faculty.
Well, that is a policy that I believe needs further discussion.
It may very well, and we can do a whole show on it if you like.
This format does not provide for that.
Yeah.
I'm going to... And again, this is one of those questions where I am dissing my choice. However, I'm cornered. I'm going to go with University of Washington.
Oh, you are so close. University of Oregon.
Sugar.
As they say in Eugene, the ducks are ducking the requirement. Okay.
2-0. Here we go. I can still recover. John?
Yes, sir.
What conservative and what outlet ran an opinion piece earlier this month calling Trump's tweeting, quote, genius, saying, quote, he will go down in history as the president who figured out how to get around much of the biased media and talk 24/7 directly to the American people. Was it A, Rachel Alexander at townhall.com, B, Vince Lancy at zerohedge.com, C, Faith Gates at mediaite.com, or D, Gavin McInnes at Tacky, T-A-K-I, mag.com. All of these are real authors, real conservative websites.
Well, Mediaite is not a conservative website, so I think that is not Mediaite. I have not heard of any of the other people or outlets but Mediaite.
Genius.
So
the tweeting
go
is,
with,
quote, genius.
G is for genius and G is for Gavin. The answer is Gavin.
Gavin McInnes at tackymag.com?
Yeah, why not?
No, it's Rachel Alexander at townhall.com. Score remains what it was.
I have nothing to say to that.
I understand. We'll get better. Get ready. Bring it.
Hey, did you know it's still June? And you know what June is, don't you?
What follows the merry month of May?
It follows the merry month of May.
And
it's
proceeding.
The last month of,
yes.
It's the last of the year that a woman reasonably could be named. But no, it's also the month of parades, like gay pride parades. And last weekend, as it is wont to do, gay pride festivities can cause controversy. One city's pride parade received huge attention from the right because its organizing committee refused to permit a float from a group called Gays for Trump to march in its parade. Which major city in the state the Grand Leader won last fall is now facing this controversy? Charlotte, Tampa, Des Moines, Miami, Cleveland.
Charlotte, Tampa, Cleveland. What else did I have?
Des Moines and Miami.
Des Moines and Miami.
The Gay Parade Organizing Committee refused to allow a float sponsored by a group calling itself Gays for Trump.
I saw the article. I believe it was Miami.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Charlotte.
Oh, all right. Well, thank you. Let's kick it up a notch, John. Here we go.
I'm kicking it.
Did you see the article in the Daily Mirror earlier this month?
About what?
About the benefit of having sex on a regular basis being found to lower men's risk for cardiovascular disease.
I missed that one.
Yes, it's true. Check it out in the Daily Mirror. Now, according to a police report published on thesmokinggun.com, one couple decided earlier this month to engage in the medically preventative measure on a park bench. Passers-by would later go on to provide video and photographic evidence of this couple's acts to the police, which were described as, quote, sexual intercourse, oral and digital sex. The couple has, each member of the couple has been charged with indecent exposure, open lewdness, and disorderly conduct. In which Pennsylvania city did this take place?
Okay.
Scranton, Gettysburg, Wilkes-Barre, or Intercourse?
Yeah, it's not Intercourse, Pennsylvania, but that's and it's not Lidditz either. But that's a really good, thank you for inserting that one. That's what she said. Let's see, Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, which are basically twin cities. And what was the other one?
Gettysburg.
Gettysburg. You know, I've been to Wilkes-Barre. I've been to Gettysburg. I can't imagine people having sex in public in Wilkes-Barre, although it is nice. You know, I'm going to go with Scranton.
It's Wilkes-Barre.
Oh, I went against Scranton. All right, but you know what? I'm glad that you gave me that question because I have a question for you about.
I'm sure you do.
I have a question for you about the Commonwealth.
Okay.
Pennsylvania may elect a fruit or something made from fruit as its next governor. Recently, a business executive with a fruity name threw his hat in the ring for the Republican nomination to run against Pennsylvania's incumbent governor next year. He is also a wealthy business executive in what should be a very expensive 2018 campaign. Who is this fruity Republican? Lloyd Smucker, Andrew Applebaum, Paul Mango, Robert Berry, Michael Lemon. One of them is an announced Republican candidate for governor next year.
Smucker, like with a name like Smucker's, it's got to be good.
Smucker's jelly.
Applebaum,
Paul Mango, Robert Berry, Michael Lemon.
Okay. Now, my deductive reasoning draws me to question, what funny names would John invent? He saw one that had a fruit involved, and he thought, I'll run with this.
That's exactly what
I'll have a lot of fun making up fruit last names. Now,
well, not all of them are made up.
They're not made up?
Some of these, including the correct answer, are real Pennsylvania politicians. 3 of them, in fact, are real Pennsylvania politicians. I believe I made up 2 of them. Which 2 is up to you to find out.
All right. Well, Was it Don Lemon? What was that first?
Don Lemon's on CNN. Michael Lemon,
Yeah.
Robert Berry, Paul Mango, Andrew Applebaum, Lloyd Smucker.
I think it's Paul Mango, but that's because of the way you deliver that name.
Are you suggesting that I Mango? I just dropped the phone.
Well, if that wasn't the tell that we've all been waiting for. Final answer, Paul Mango, please.
Paul Mango is the correct answer.
Yeah. You were so freaked out that I could tell that you dropped the phone. All right, well, the score's 2-1.
And we're halfway through, so it's competitive.
Chasing the lead here. You must say what?
I must say that but I didn't think I tipped it off, but hey.
It was just the way you said it, and it's rolled off the tongue, and I'm sure you saw the news and you were like, Paul Mango, that's so good.
Well,
all right, here's a name for you. I've got a name. You ready for a name game?
Big name.
On June 20th, an Odessa, Texas man, formerly known as Ernest Baeza, Baeza, Acosta, Ernest Baeza Acosta, filed to have his name legally changed, citing that his new name would be, quote, more suitable for professional purposes.
Oh, God.
This man works as a manager at a big box retailer and runs a YouTube channel with over 7,000 followers that features comedy and stunt videos. What is the new name of the man formerly known as Ernest Baeza Acosta? Is it A, Ernesto, it's the name of the dictator, Duarte? I said that right. Duterte, Duarte?
Duterte, yeah.
Duterte, thank you.
Philippines, yeah.
A, Ernesto Duterte. B, Ernest Rick Perry. C, Ernesto Trump. D, Ernest P. Worrell, which was the name of Jim Varney's stage persona in the.
I remember.
You know. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Ernest. Or E, Lyndon Baines Johnson.
Ernesto Duterte, Ernesto Trump, Ernesto Rick Perry.
No. Ernest Rick Perry.
Ernest Rick Perry, Ernest P. Worrell, and Lyndon Baines Johnson.
That's right.
This is a completely useless question. It has no relevance whatsoever.
Remember, in the court document, it says he is asking for this because it is, quote, more suitable for professional purposes.
Okay, it's Lyndon Baines Johnson.
It is not. It is Ernesto Trump. Now, your bonus question. The judge did grant the name change, and the newly named Mr. Trump soon after posted a video to his YouTube channel. Which of these did Ernesto Trump not do in this video? A, call himself, quote, the undeportable one. B, call himself, quote, the president's son. C, request some, quote, father-son time with the president. Or D, announce that he would be suing Donald Trump in small claims court, seeking to recoup the $272 filing fee for the successful name change. Which of these did the newly named Mr. Trump not do?
Do I have to answer this? It's having quality father-son time.
No, he did do that. He did not ask for the filing fee back.
That's just great.
Isn't that?
All right, we are halfway through. Oh no!
I thought Ernest Rick Perry was a pretty good name.
It's a pretty good. You know, we recently had a Mike Pence question about his dogs and all that.
Yes.
But do you know that Mike Pence has a big brother?
I do.
Uh-oh. Greg Pence.
His dog's name is Ringo, if you needed to know.
Right.
Greg Pence's
He has
dog?
an older brother.
Mm-hmm.
His name's Greg. Greg is the eldest of the 6 Pencelings.
Okay.
Greg is considering a run for Congress next year in the Muncie-based district his little brother used to represent. Greg now runs some antique malls, but used to serve in former Governor Mitch Daniels' cabinet. Alas, he lasted only 2.5 months in that job. What agency did he head, and why did he leave so soon? A, he led the Department of Housing. He left because he failed to disclose commercial interest in low-income housing properties that received state subsidies. B, Greg Pence ran the Department of Child Services. He left because of poor departmental management of abuse cases of foster children who were wards of the state, and Pence had brought in political cronies without child services experience to run the program. C, he was budget director, but left after he was overheard making insensitive remarks about, quote, welfare queens. D, he was head of the Department of Environmental Management. He had no environmental experience and had worked for an oil company that had previously been sanctioned for multiple violations by the agency. The potential conflict of interest did not fit well with the good government Governor Daniels. Or E, Greg Pence ran the State Department of Revenue. His agency was found to pursue aggressive collection of outstanding taxes only of those businesses that contributed to Democrats, and to look the other way at firms that owed money but had written checks to Republican candidates, including his brother Mike. Which of these departments did big brother Greg Pence leave under the Daniels administration in Indiana, and why?
The budget, Department of the budget, and the welfare
that
queens.
Makes perfect sense.
It's most plausible.
Except he used to work at an oil company and ran the Department of Environmental Management.
I mean, that was the most plausible, but I
think they were all plausible. I think they were extremely well conceived and written, so that it's one of those questions I love to write. Because by the time I'm done giving you the answers, you're asleep. Okay, top of the 7.
Actually, this question is built with that in mind. Okay,
oh, good.
And in the name of being the kinder, gentler place that we want this to be, I will give you your options, and then I will read you the entire excerpt, which is not short. I mean, it's not long, but it's not short. Who said this?
Okay.
Was it George Will, Charles Krauthammer, Michelle Malkin, or John Stossel? In a June 22nd article published in the Jewish World Review. George Will, Charles Krauthammer, Michelle Malkin, John Stossel. Quote, in the accelerated churning of today's capitalism, changing tastes and expanding choices destroy some jobs and create others with net gains in price and quality. But disruption is never restful, and America now faces a decision unique in its history. Is it tired? Tired of the turmoil of creative destruction? If so, it had better be ready to do without creativity and ready to stop being what it has always been, restless. Americans just now are being plied with promises that the political class can and is eager to protect them from the need to make strenuous exertions to provide for themselves in an increasingly competitive world. If the nation really is ready to sag into a rocking chair, it can while away its days and ward away its days and ward off ennui by reading the poet Philip Larkin, quote, it seems just now to be happening so very fast. Who wrote that?
That is Charles Krauthammer. Because only he among those, I don't know about John Stossel, but Krauthammer, being trained as a medical doctor, is very deep and intellectual, and he doesn't only write about politics. And Charles Krauthammer would be the most likely of those to write in a Jewish publication, unless it's Jared Kushner. The answer is Dr. Krauthammer.
I'm sorry, the answer is George Will. but I
You know,
appreciate.
George Will's gotten all sappy since he went to MSNBC.
We're quoting Philip Larkin here? Come on.
Philip Larkin.
Sag into a rocking chair? All right, bring it on. Bring it on. Or don't.
Okay, here's another one. Very, very recent. Bottom of the screen news blurb. Just this week, the largest illegal cannabis bust in a state that has legalized recreational use of the drug rounded up 62 folks and sent them to the who's gal. In which state did this drug bust take place?
I'm sorry, what are we busting here?
The illegal cannabis in a state in which recreational use of the drug is legal.
Okay.
Not all cannabis in a recreational cannabis state is legal.
Sure. Okay,
This
what do you
is
got? What do you got?
And 62 people were rounded up and sent to jail in the largest illegal cannabis bust in any state that has legalized recreational cannabis. Which state was the site of this roundup? California, Oregon, Washington, Colorado, Alaska.
California, Oregon, Washington, Colorado, Alaska. We got to think about the illegal cannabis market in the places where it can be sold and moved. 62 people means, it could mean anything. Now, where are we moving it to? That's a good question. California, I mean, California and Colorado, I really do not suspect those. I'm suspecting Washington or Alaska or Oregon because I would imagine a coastline would be involved, and that would... Wait, do I get to find out who did this bust? State? Feds? DEA? Jeff Sessions?
I do not have that answer.
Oh, thank you.
Or as Kellyanne Conway would say, I cannot share that information with you. No, I really don't know.
Alaska.
It's a great guess, wouldn't you think?
It's
but
not.
it is Colorado.
It is Colorado.
Colorado busted the illegal cannabis people. All right, we are through 7 rounds with a rollicking 2-1 score.
Wait a minute, you can't even say that. Colorado busted who? We don't know that it was the state of Colorado. Could have been the DEA.
It happened in Colorado.
Could have been Sheriff Joe.
Could have been. All right, top of the 8th. The score is 2-1.
Well,
very exciting game.
That was not. That was exciting, but that question was not okay. Beyonce. He says, as if he was throwing a gauntlet upon the ground. Beyonce and Jay-Z have had twins.
Yes, they have.
And both mother and children are now resting comfortably in a $400,000 a month Malibu, California estate, according to multiple reports. The newborns' names have not yet been announced, however, as of the writing of this question. While Beyonce's choreographer, Frank Gaston, told Us Magazine he does know the names of the newborns, he said he's also not telling. Now, Jay-Z and Beyonce have a 5-year-old daughter together as well, who, according to an unnamed source, told Us Magazine she's enjoyed buying her twin siblings matching outfits. What is the name of Beyonce and Jay-Z's 5-year-old daughter? Is it A, Green Ivy, B, Blue Ivy, C, Sky Ivy, or D, Candy with a K and an I, Ivy?
No, it's Blue or Green Ivy. I've heard this. The question is, I think it's Blue Ivy. That's my answer. Blue Ivy, whatever the last name is.
You're right. You are right.
Ooh, a cushion. That's a cushion.
That is a cushion. That is a cushion
Yeah.
if I ever saw one. All right, well.
A June study cites a continuing trend that finds many black people are leaving cities for suburbs.
What is this?
What
Study? What are you talking about? What study? A June study?
a June study. Well, it's still June.
Whose study?
Which major city has, I believe it's a census study, by the way. Which major city has seen the largest number of African Americans migrate from urban to suburban life in the last year? Detroit, Washington, New York, Chicago, Los Angeles.
Detroit. Washington, D.C.
Yes.
Uh,
New York, Chicago, Los Angeles. This is not proportion, by the way. This is raw numbers of black people leaving.
Not per capita, but okay.
It is raw numbers.
Let's see. I don't think it's New York. Suburbs are crazy expensive. Detroit is in the running. D.C., nobody lives there. Chicago is in the running. L.A., I'm not so sure. Detroit versus Chicago. Chicago.
Is that your answer?
That is my answer.
We have lost 12,000 black people in the last year, and it is not. We still have the most black people of any city in America, more than New York or Los Angeles. But yes, that is the answer.
Ooh, it's 3-2, eh?
Top of the night.
Oh my. Oh my. Well, let's see. I can't. Yeah, no. I guess I'm deciding between these two questions, and that's a tough one. We'll just go in order. We'll just do it as we did it. Earlier this month, a reporter for The Atlantic asked Steve Bannon why the daily White House press briefings were being held off camera. The reporter received a text message back. You know what it said, right?
I don't actually know.
Oh, my. I could have done that right there. No, the reporter from The Atlantic got a text message from Steve Bannon and refused to answer any follow-up. And the text message said, quote, Sean got fatter, period.
Right, he got fat shamed. Yeah, that's right. I heard that. Right.
Now, who said this on Twitter later that day? Quote, the White House using fat shaming to justify increased opacity, period. 2017, period. Who said that on Twitter later that day? A, Hillary Clinton. B, Chelsea Clinton. C, Michelle Obama. D, Nancy Pelosi.
No, it was Hillary.
It was not. It was daughter of Hillary. I'm sorry. Oh!
All right, chance to tie.
Oh! Bring it.
Bottom of the ninth. A major, long-standing Olympic sponsor has opted out of future Olympic participation. Which multinational company is no longer a sponsor of the Olympic movement? Coca-Cola, McDonald's, Visa, Intel, General Electric.
Coca-Cola, McDonald's, Intel, or GE?
And Visa. Visa's in there too.
Visa. Sponsoring the Olympics is big money. I can't imagine what it costs. Who's got that money still? Intel, GE. Though I don't think it's worth their while anymore. They don't need PR. Visa, yes. McDonald's, I wonder if they're like, bottom line wise, if we pull out of the Olympics, we can stay afloat. I'm really leaning towards McDonald's, but I don't know why GE would bother with such a thing anymore. So, but GE, it wouldn't break them if they stayed on. I'll go with McDonald's.
You pick McDonald's over GE, is that correct?
I did, yes.
You're correct.
Hey! Well, don't we just have a situation here?
The last round. It's a good thing I have a tiebreaker ready to go if we need it.
I actually, because we hit a tie, I have a very special we hit a tie question. This does not have any bearing on anything, according to a 6/27/17 tweet from the Rogue POTUS staff account. How many times did a very agitated President Trump try to flip over his desk? A, 1, B, 2, 3, C, 3, or D, 4?
Is this a real question?
It
Is
is
this like,
real...
am I
This does not count
scored
against the game. It is a bonus question.
just that day or
Just that day in
week?
that moment.
Well, he had a good day on June 27th. The Supreme Court said he can put a ban into effect. He had a good day.
The answer's four. The answer's four, John. Four.
He didn't fire. Why would he want to tip his desk? He had a good day Tuesday.
I don't know what good days look like to that man.
That's
so,
true.
Okay. Now that was a bonus question, and this is your final chance to get a lead. Yes.
That's what they say.
Man, all right. This week marks the 147th anniversary of the opening of the first section of the boardwalk in Atlantic City, New Jersey.
1870, okay.
We all know that our president, now president, wheeled and dealed in that town. Between the years of 1984 and 2009, what was the most number of casinos he owned simultaneously in Atlantic City? He being Donald Trump. Is it A, 3, B, 4, C, 5, or D, 6?
Four, because that's how many times he's trying to turn over his desk.
Man, I can't believe that. You got it. You got it.
Oh.
Holy smoly.
Oh, you know, it's amazing. We're like an old married couple because we seem to be in sync in terms of our appropriation of questions. So your last chance is a Donald Trump question. Are you ready? This is a big one.
Oh, am I? Bring it.
We all expect hacks and hangers-on to get plum appointments in any new administration, but this one is a doozy. President Muffley has nominated Lynn Patton, that's L-Y-N-N-E, Patton, P-A-T-T-O-N, a longtime loyalist and one of the few African Americans in his inner circle, to a big post. Patton, best known for planning Eric Trump's wedding, organizing tournaments at Trump-owned golf courses, and responding to Kathy Griffin's bloody head post in a tweet that included the F word, has also falsely claimed a law degree she didn't earn in her LinkedIn account, and, moreover, has no experience at all in the industry on whose behalf she will be doling out billions of dollars. She's been appointed to run the New York and New Jersey regional office of which cabinet-level agency? EPA, housing, education, health and human services, transportation. Lynn Patton.
EPA, housing, education, transportation.
And HHS.
Health and Human Services. I saw this article. And
did you see the New York Daily News? I got mine from the New York Daily.
I think it's housing. Pretty darn sure.
Is that your absolutely final answer?
It is.
It's time for a tiebreaker.
Ooh.
Very good.
I've got a tiebreaker for you. Are you ready?
I have. So maybe we each give a tiebreaker and whatever happens. Okay, go ahead.
According to a March 6th, 2017 New York Post article, investor Carl Icahn has sold the Trump Taj Mahal to Hard Rock International. He tried to throw the Trump Plaza in on the deal. He bought both casinos in bankruptcy hearings, but nobody wants the Trump Plaza. Why? Is it A, the building has we're talking about the Trump Plaza in Atlantic City, right?
If you say so, okay.
I do. Is it, why does no one, can Carl Icahn not get rid of the Trump Plaza? Is it A, because the building has an outstanding lien against it from contractors, some dating back to the building's construction? Is it B, the building sits on land owned by a third party to support its construction? Trump signed a $1 million a year lease agreement that runs through 2078? Is it C, asbestos and hazardous materials mitigation inside the aging structure may cost more than it's worth? Or D, following the election, vandals entered and caused major property damage, including covering many walls with graffiti, defaming the former land investor turned president? Why can Carl Icahn not get rid of the Trump Plaza in Atlantic City?
Why are you giving me a story from March? It's almost July.
No. He still can't get rid of it.
But you did
and
say
the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino will save Atlantic City, will it not?
Why not? All right. So it has to do with somebody else owns the land and $1 million thing, asbestos, graffiti on the inside of the building, and what's the fourth one?
An outstanding lien from some contractors dating back to the building's construction.
Well, I think it's that one because we've heard a lot about those.
No, in fact, Donald Trump, to fund this was his first property. Second property in Atlantic City. To fund it, he did sign a $1 million a year lease with someone. And that was not disclosed in the bankruptcy hearing. So there you go.
All right, well, I have a tiebreaker for you. So if you get it right, you win. If you don't get it, you tie.
No. Everything comes down to this.
Everything comes, that's what she said. EPA Chief Scott Pruitt recently met with the CEO of a major chemical firm, then delisted one of that firm's pesticides from an Obama administration recommendation to ban the chemical barely 2 weeks later. With the CEO of which pesticide manufacturer did Pruitt meet? Dow, Syngenta, Monsanto, BASF, or Bayer?
BASF or Bayer? Like the aspirin?
Well, it's a big company.
And what was the one after Dow?
Syngenta.
It's Monsanto.
An excellent guess. Unfortunately, it's Dow.
Oh, man.
Wow.
So what does this mean? It's a tie. It's just a tie. It ends on a tie.
A tie is like kissing your sister. I don't know. Should we try to break it? Should we do a sudden death?
I'm here in my office. You want a question? There's questions. I've got shelves of answers here. No. It's a tie. It's a tie. It's an all-American tie. It's a hanging Chad. That's what it is.
That would be a great name for an adult film. Hanging Chad.
Maybe not. Maybe not. It's late.
Perhaps not.
It's late. We both have won the shark repellent. We'll try to share it.
As it turns out, neither of us needs it. Because we don't have any sharks in Lake Michigan. We have sharks on Michigan Avenue. But we don't have sharks in Lake Michigan.
There you go. All right, John, thank you. As always, wonderful time.
What a delightful and intellectually stimulating program.
That's right. Blue Ivy. Well, next week, if we find out the name of the twins, I'll be sure to wish you. And go watch Ernesto Trump's new channel, man. I heard it's
I will do that. I will do that. And I want you to watch Elaine Shaw with the Aspen Institute. That would be very important.
Loving it. All right, man. Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you all. Good night. And have a pleasant tomorrow.